All right, good afternoon, everyone, my little friends. I'm really happy to be here. And thank you, Emily, for the nice introduction. And you can call me Pritam. My full name is Pritam Mendel. And at present, I'm working as a researcher in the physics department at Michigan Technological University, which is not far from here, right? Any one of you have been to Michigan Technological University? Oh, great. Maybe all of you will get chance to visit the university very soon. But I am originally from India. How far is India? It is very far from here. It is like about 8,000 miles away from here. About 12,000 kilometers by air route. If you ride on an aeroplane, you have to fly for continuously 16 hours to reach Kolkata. I am from Kolkata. So that is in the eastern part of India. Like you have New York here in the eastern part of America, we have Kolkata in India. But I am not exactly from Kolkata. I am from a village which is about 20 miles away from Kolkata. So I grew up in nature. We don't have a huge population there. We have lot of trees, plants, ponds, rivers, canals. Like the atmosphere right here, like in Calumet or Hancock or Houghton. Do you have a huge population like New York or Los Angeles? No, right? But we are having lot of natural beauties, nature. So my place is like that, full of greenery. So I am telling a little bit about my life because I would like to tell you how I was when I was of your age. What kind of questions I used to ask my mom, dad, my teachers, right? Instead of talking about very hard science and physics and mathematics, we'll be telling how I got interested in science and physics. Now you see I am working as a researcher in the physics department. I have gone through middle school, high school, college, university, then PhD, then research after PhD. So long journey, right? You started grade 1 or kindergarten, then 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. You go to grade 12, then college, 3 years in India and 4 years here. And then master's degree. Then PhD, another 5 years. Long journey. But I am going to tell you how I was when I was of your age. Anyone having any difficulty understanding my accent? Okay, if you have any difficulty understanding me, please stop me, okay? I will repeat. So I remember as a kid I was very fond of nature. I was very curious about the trees, plants, birds, animals, insects, about all different types of peoples who lived around us. I was very curious to know what do they think, how do they think, okay? So this is the curiosity. As a kid, I remember I used to ask my mom why we have to have food 3 or 4 times a day during breakfast, lunch, snacks in the afternoon, dinner. Where does all the food go? My mom would tell me that the food is converted into your body mass. That is how you are growing, okay? Because if you do not eat food, you will not grow. That is how all the living animals, plants actually are growing, by eating or consuming food. I say, what is food? What is in there? What food is made of? My mom did not know much. She would tell you have to study science to know what is there in the food. My father, who was a school teacher, he used to tell me there are different types of food. There is carbohydrates like rice, proteins like fish and chicken, right? There is vitamins, minerals. So there are different types of molecules, different type of atoms. But I had no idea what molecules are, what atoms are. Do you know what molecule is?
Yeah.
Wow, you're smart. I did not know when I was your age what a molecule is, what an atom is. So my father used to tell me, you have to go to school and study science if you want to know what is a molecule, what is an atom. So do you know what electron, proton, neutron is? Wow, you people are really smart. I did not know when I was your age. When I grew up only, I got to know that atoms are made of electron, proton, neutron, right? I'm correct? Right? Electrons are negative charge, protons are positive charge. You know all these things? Wow, incredible. So yes, and then when my mom was cooking, okay, when I was your age, we did not have electricity. We did not have gas oven or electric oven. So we had mud oven, and we used to have wood or coal as the fuel. So wood fire or coal fire, alright? And my mom used to take a metal bowl and used to put it on the oven, pour water and pour rice grains. And maybe in 45 minutes, 1 hour, that rice would be ready. And I used to think as a kid that what is happening? What is this fire, mama? My mom used to say, I don't know, this is just fire. If we put it on the fire, the rice will be made. Rice grains is converted into edible rice. If we put that rice in the cold water, will it again become rice grains? No, 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 no. My mom used to tell that there is some permanent change in that rice grain, right? You cannot put this rice into cold water and get rice grains out of it. If you take an egg and put it in the hot water, if you boil it, it will be boiled. But if you put that in the cold water, will it again be a raw egg? No. I said, why? My mom used to say, I don't know. We are giving heat and there is some chemical changes. But if you study science, you will understand what is happening. So very interesting. And I used to have cup filled with hot milk, or my father with cup of hot tea. And when we used to keep it outside, in few minutes we would find that the hot milk or the tea is getting cold and colder. So why it is getting cold? My father used to tell me that heat is going away from this tea or hot milk in the atmosphere. That's okay. But in the summertime, I used to buy ice cream. We did not have freezer, we did not have electricity, okay? So when the ice cream vendor used to come, I used to buy ice cream, and if I am holding it without eating that, I could see it is melting very fast. And my uncle used to tell, you know what is happening? That heat is coming from the atmosphere. It is melting the ice cream. I said, wait. When I have hot milk or tea, heat is going from there into the atmosphere. But now I have ice cream, and you are telling that heat is not going from ice cream. It is coming from atmosphere. Why? Strange. He told, you have to study science to understand that. There is temperature, you know, temperature. Heat always flows from high temperature to low temperature. I said, why? To understand this why heat is flowing from high temperature to low temperature, we have to study science. Wow, interesting. And when my mom is cooking, it is wood or coal fire, lot of smoke used to go out and mix in the atmosphere. My grandfather used to tell that is pollution, because the smokes that contain carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sometimes sulfur dioxide, bad gases. I used to say, oh, so we are surrounded by air. Yes, we are surrounded by air. Can you see air? We cannot see air. But you know that there is air, right? The moment you put your palm here, exhaling, you can feel that air is there. So my grandfather told me, we are all like fishes. We are in the ocean of air. Like the fishes are in the water body, we are in the ocean of air. But very interestingly, my grandfather told, have you ever thought that you are breathing out and there are other animals? In our place we have cows, goats, dogs, birds. They are also breathing the same air. So the air molecules, you know molecules, air molecules are coming out, and the cow or the frogs or the dogs or the goats or the birds, they are breathing the same air. And see, we are all connected. That is how we all living beings are connected. We are breathing the same air. It is mostly oxygen. Is it really oxygen only? Then my science teacher in school, when I asked him later, he told no, there is nitrogen, there is oxygen, there is carbon dioxide, and nitrogen is maximum. I told how nitrogen looks like. If I can't tell you, you have to go to higher classes and study science to understand or to know how nitrogen looks like, what nitrogen is made of.
We saw liquid nitrogen when some people from Central University came up here for a presentation in the lunchroom.
What is your question, pardon me?
We saw liquid nitrogen in
Oh, yes, great. Because in many experiments, we need liquid nitrogen. So you have a liquid nitrogen tank, right? We use that liquid nitrogen for many different purposes. Good that you have seen that. But again, it is because of science, we now know that there is nitrogen almost 79%. Out of 100 parts, there are 79 parts almost nitrogen. Then there is about 20.5 parts oxygen. There information. How did we know about this? Because of science. Anyway, so that is how I was curious about anything and everything that I experienced as a kid. And how we are experiencing this world with our 5 senses, right? We all have got 5 senses by nature. We can see because of light, right? Can we see light? No. We cannot see light, but we see the objects illuminated by light. You can see me because light is falling on me, and this light is scattered and going into your eyes and creating this sensation of seeing. I knew that only when I grew up and I studied higher science. As a kid, I did not realize that you can't see eyes. I remember one day I asked my elementary school science teacher that if you close all the windows in a room, it's a dark room, say, and suppose there is a tiny hole or a narrow slit and a ray is coming, I told, hey, wait, my teacher told that we cannot see light, but I see a light ray coming through that slit into my room. Then later the teacher told, wait, that is not the light that you are seeing. You are seeing the dust particles illuminated by light, right? So there are a lot of dust particles, different particles floating in the air, and this light is illuminating that, and we are seeing, oh, that is the path of light. Okay. So now let's talk about outdoor fields. I was outdoor person. I used to go a lot out of my home, playing with my friends, okay, in the playground, and there is sun. And that is, of course, I think one of the biggest objects of curiosity. What is up there in the sky? Every day we see that sun is rising in the east and sinking in the west, right? So, right, when it is rising in the east or sinking in the evening, west, then it looks little reddish, pinkish, yellowish, right? It is not as bright as noon. Right now, if you try to see, the sun looks what? White, bright. Why it is now bright and white when it is noon, but in the morning and in the evening, it is not so bright. It looks reddish and pinkish. My parents could not tell me. They told, you have to talk to your science teacher. He or she can explain to you why it looks pinkish or reddish. Any one of you know why it looks reddish or pinkish in the morning, during sunrise and sunset time?
I know why the sky looks blue, but I don't know why it looks red and pink and stuff.
You don't know that?
No, I don't.
But do you know why the sky appears to be blue?
Because all the light is reflecting off the water, making the sky look blue.
Close, but
Well,
not
water
really.
molecules.
But for that you have to study science. That is the reason. Yeah, the sky, but we are close. The sky is blue. I will tell you a little bit. Because the sunlight, we say it white light. But white is not a light actually. It has many different lights. Did you have experience with rainbows? Any one of you know rainbow? All of you have seen rainbow, right? Good. So if there is a patch of rain, and after that, if the sun is up, if you look opposite side, not towards the sun, but if sun is coming from this way, sunlight, then on the other side you will say, wow, that is a very beautiful rainbow. It is different colors, VIBGYOR, right? Violet, indigo, blue, then green, yellow, orange, red, right? We can also see that spectrum if we have a prism. Do you know prism? Glass prism? You know that? I don't have a prism here. So if we have a glass prism and if I hold it here and suppose the sunlight is coming and passing through that and there is a white, suppose it's a white screen, you will see that there is violet, then indigo, blue, red, orange, all these colors. Because white light is not a color. It is a combination of different colors which is getting like divided into different components. Yeah.
I have a question. If there's light on Earth, why is space dark?
Why the space is dark?
Yeah, because like there's light on Earth, but like there's not light in space where the sun is.
How do you know the space is dark? You have pictures, videos?
Yeah.
Great question. Great question. As I told you, we do not see light. We see objects, dust particles illuminated by light, right? Now in the space, if there is no matter, no material, no dust particles, then will we be able to see anything? Nothing. Because if there are particles only, be it dust particles or matter, then only we see them, not the light. In the space, actually in deep space, there is no material, okay? If it is completely empty space, empty means there is no material particle, but there is energy. But there is no material particle, so it appears to us as black. Black means we do not see the light scattered of different particles, okay? Why the sky is blue? When the white light, I am calling it white light, coming and they are falling on the air molecules, there are dust particles, air molecules, they are scattered. And there is a, when you grow up, maybe in 7th or 8th grade, you will learn that this intensity of the scattered light is depends on the frequency or wavelength of the light. I am not going into details, but the blue light scatters maximum. So we have red component, yellow component, green component, blue, vizier, blue, indigo, all colors are there, all components, but actually it is violet. Violet is the component that is scattered maximum, but our eyes do not have the sensitivity for violet light. So we really cannot see or feel that violet light. But blue light, that is the next indigo or blue, that is the next most scattered light. Our eyes are sensitive to that. So that's why you see, oh, it is blue sky, because of this scattering by different air molecules and particles that is there in the atmosphere, okay? And why the sun is pinkish and reddish? Again, I have to go in little bit details, but maybe we don't have that time right now. But do you know what is refraction? Refraction, do you know? So don't worry, you will know it when you are grown up. But I am just telling you, there is a science. I will tell what science is. But you know, if I know science, I will be, or we will be able to explain why the sun appears reddish during sunrise and during sunset. Okay, there is atmospheric refraction. You have to go a little bit higher class to know that. But the question, I used to ask my grandfather, sun is giving us all the energy. How does the sun get all the energy? My grandfather told me that in ancient time when people did not know much about science, but suppose that time when they figured out what coal is, okay? They used to think sun is like a big oven of coal. There is lot of coal in the sun and that is burning and that is how it is giving light and energy. But that is not correct. When we have more knowledge, more scientific knowledge, we have got to understand that there is nuclear fusion at the core of the sun, okay? If you have a very big ball, just imagine this is a very, very big ball, at the very core, at the very center, within the 20% of this radius, not at the surface, but in the center, there is nuclear fusion. That is giving out all energy. Lot of energy. So the scientists have estimated the temperature of the core of the sun is 15 million degrees Celsius. Our body is 37.3 degrees Celsius, 37 degrees Celsius. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius temperature. If you by chance put your finger in the hot water, correct or not? Very hot water, 100 degrees Celsius temperature. Oh my God, burning sensation. Just think about this 15 million degrees Celsius. Huge, right? Huge. You cannot even imagine how hot is that. But can you please give it to me? Okay. But at the surface of the sun, the temperature is not that high. It is only 5,000 to 6,000 degrees Celsius. But still, that is very, 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 very hot, right? But not as hot as the center. How did we got to know all this? Because of science, right? Without science, we would not know how the sun is producing energy. Without science, we would not know what is the temperature at the core or at the surface. How far is the sun from here? Is it 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile, 1,000 mile? 150 million kilometer, which is like about 1,000 million mile. I mean, million means what? 10 lakhs. 100,000, then 10,100,000. 10,100,000 means what? 1 million. 150 million kilometer. How big is that distance? I cannot even imagine. Oh my gosh. So like if you go from here to Florida, this is only maybe 1,000 mile. 1,000 mile. You go to Florida, come back, go to Florida, come back, go to Florida, come back. How many times you have to do? You can do the maths. 150 million kilometer away from here, that sun. I told, how big is that sun? My science teacher told that there can be 1.5 million Earth that can fit into the volume of the sun. I did not know. He told me that if this is the room, suppose this room is the sun, okay? And this is like your Earth. This is like Earth, tiny Earth. But this Earth is huge in our eyes, right? I mean, we think of Earth is a very, very huge planet, so many oceans and lands and continents and people and animals and biodiversity. How big is the Earth? This is the Earth compared to the Earth sun. If the whole room is the sun. How did you know that? Because of science, right? And then I told, that is nice. And as a kid, I remember there was a solar eclipse. I was of your age. We were very excited. What is solar eclipse? My grandmother told me, hey, solar eclipse means that there is a demon in the sky and that demon is going to eat that sun. Really? Yes, my grandmother told me. And we had this little speck. They called it X-ray speck. They told there are a lot of bad radiation. You have to put this speck. You have to buy that. Then only you can look at the sky, look at the sun. Because there are a lot of X-rays and harmful radiations coming. We are kids. We told, okay, let us buy that. And oh my God, really the sun was completely dark. It's a black disc. Solar eclipse. Full solar eclipse. My grandmother told that, okay, there's a demon eating the sun. And my grandfather was laughing. There is no demon in the sky. He was a headmaster of a school, elementary school. He told me, no, there is no demon. It is science. When the sun, moon, and the earth are in a straight line, then the sunlight is blocked by the moon. If I am standing here, okay, if someone is, okay, you please sign this like that. This is the sunlight, imagine, okay? And I am the moon. I am standing here. And you please come here. And you are the earth. Will you receive any light? No. This light is blocked. And suppose we are on this part of the earth. We will not see the sunlight for some time. So, oh, this solar eclipse. That is solar eclipse. By the way, this SOL, Sol, is the name of sun. It is, I think, given by ancient Roman people. They used to call it Sol. Like, it is the head of this system. We call it solar system. Okay, please sit down. She said, oh, that is interesting. How long does it take for this light to come from the sun to earth? Again, my science teacher, when I was in middle school, our science teacher told me it takes about 8 minutes. Oh my God, only 8 minutes? How long does it take from here to Florida even if I fly? Few hours. How long does it take from here to India if I fly? Minimum 16 hours. And you are saying sun is 150 million kilometer away and the light takes only 8 minutes to come here. How fast light is traveling? And my science teacher told that in this entire universe, light is known to be the fastest traveling entity. There is nothing that can travel faster than the speed of light. and that speed is 186,000 miles per second. In a second, it is I'm forgetting. It is like 3 times 10 to the power 8, like 300,000. You can get 1,800 mile per second. Okay, 1,86,000. I think 1,86,000 miles per second. It's huge. Just imagine that the sun and the earth, this most part is empty. There is no material. Is there any railway track between sun and the earth? Any road? Nothing, right? Empty space. And light is traveling. What is light? What is light then? It doesn't need any material medium. I mean, if I want to go from here to Los Angeles, I need a car, I need a road, or I will be getting into train, I need a railway track, or I will fly. How the airplane is flying? Because of the air, right? If there is no air, can the airplane fly? No. If there is no atmosphere, no air, the airplane cannot fly. But light can travel without any material particle. I want to know what is light, Grandpa. Yeah, you have to go to higher classes, you have to study science, maybe in college or university. You can try to understand what is the nature of light, right? But, yes, question?
Like someone told me that like light travels to the moon in like 3 or something seconds.
How many seconds?
3 or something.
Yeah, is right. Is right. How far is the moon from here? I think how far? Like, yeah, that's a question. Like, first of all, I told you the speed of light, and if you know the distance, you know that maths. Like, distance equals to what? Speed equals to your distance by time. So distance equal to speed into time. You can calculate that very easily, right? How far is the moon? If I remember, this moon is about, I think it is 360,000 miles. Remember, 360. I think if I remember it, this is your Earth. Okay. This is the moon, and this distance is about 360 miles. Just think, it is not 1 mile, 2 miles, 360,000. And here is the sun. Sunlight is coming this distance. I'm telling, is almost, I think, 992 approximately 1,000 million miles. But again, I have to check that value, but it is a huge number. But yes, moon is much closer to Earth than this distance. Does the moon has light? The moon does not has light. Like Sol, it was called Sol, right? So that is the reason I call it solar system, because it has 9 planets, all these things. It has got its own energy. At the core, we told there is nuclear fusion. That is the factory of energy. Huge amount. You will be really surprised to know that the light takes from here to the surface of the sun, it takes approximately 1,000 years. Someone says it is 150,000 years, or it is 100,000 years, or it is about 171,000 years. That is the time taken by the light to come from the core to the surface. We know all this information, we are aware of this knowledge because of science, right? Without science, it is not at all possible to know that how energy is produced here, and you'll be surprised. When I first got to know that information, I asked my teacher, how is it possible? I mean, light is coming from here to the earth in about 8 minutes, right? But from the core to the surface, it is 150,000 years. That means the light that you are seeing here, that was born right here, how many years ago? 150,000 years ago. So this light right now here, it was not born yesterday, or it was not born 10 minutes ago. When it was born? 150,000 years ago. I don't understand. Yes, you have to understand science to know what exactly is happening. When there is a very dense material, when light is traveling through this material, it takes time. The light through space, empty space, there is no material. It second. That means this is 3 times 10 to the power 5 kilometer per second. 1 second. And if you write that this is 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 300,000 kilometer per second. That is the speed of light in free space. But when the light is coming from here, it is much slow. Maybe few centimeters in a second, few millimeters in a second. Why? You have to study science. But what I'm trying to tell you, as a kid, I was curious about anything and everything that I experienced. And these are the common natural elements, right? Sun, moon, this hotness, this coldness. Why do I feel hot? Why do I feel cold? And then in the night time, I used to go rooftop with my grandfather. He used to tell us stories, and sometimes with a lantern. It's a kerosene lantern. We did not have electricity, and that's a kerosene lantern means we had kerosene as the fuel and a little wick, W-I-C-K, right? And we used to illuminate that, and we used to read storybooks and poems, and we used to listen to stories. And I used to ask again that what are those twinkling in the sky? He used to say, my grandfather used to say, they are stars. How far they are? He didn't know. They are very far. Sometimes those stars are much bigger than the sun. Okay? And some stars have even died. But the light that they are emitting, they are releasing, they are coming for millions and millions of years. My head would spin. And he would tell, you have to study science to understand how about the nature of the stars, how far they are, and why I am saying that the stars sometimes might be dead. Still you can see that because the light they are releasing, that is taking many years. Okay, very interesting. I used to say as a kid, do you know why there is day and night? You have a question?
What is the northern lights?
Oh, that's a very good question. What is northern light? Actually, there are a lot of cosmic rays. Now, cosmic rays means that is naturally they are originating in the universe, in different parts of the universe. They are not only coming from the sun, they are coming from, do you know galaxy? We have a galaxy. Like planet Earth is going around the sun, other planets are going around the sun, and the sun and all these planets called solar system, we are part of a bigger galaxy, and it's called Milky Way. And that is not the only galaxy in this universe. There are many galaxies. There is a Hubble telescope. That is the biggest telescope that is floating in the sky and rotating, and that is capturing the images of different parts of the sky. And that telescope was designed and put in the sky, I think around 1930s. Maybe in 1930s, 1937, around that time. So like 100 years back, 90 or 80 years back. And that is capturing all the images, and that Hubble telescope tells us that there are many galaxies, not just a single galaxy. So lot of radiation, lot of energy from different galaxies coming. We don't know even the source of all these radiation. Now what is northern light? Now those radiations are coming, and those radiations are what? They are like stream of particles. They are stream of particles. They are coming to the earth from all direction, okay? Now here, when they actually collide with this atmosphere, okay, we can see when there is still, the atmosphere is very still, we can see that they are colliding with the atmosphere, and when they collide, they are what? High energy particles. Like you have seen movie and bullets, like that bullet goes at a very high speed, right? And you can imagine tiny electrons, protons, neutrons, particles going at a very high speed, very much close to the speed of light. Not exactly at the speed of light, because nothing can cross the speed of light, but high speed particles, okay? And when they collide the gas molecules, and then there is electrons in the gas molecules, they jump to the next level, they get excited, and then they come back to the ground state, they release energy. And there are different types of gases, different type of materials, and they release different colors, depending on how much excited they are. But again, to understand what exactly happens, what I am talking, what is frequency, what is wavelength, why there are different colors, what is this energy state, why electron is jumping from here to here, you have to study science. But yes, it is great that you are really observing the nature and you are genuinely curious to know what is that. That is a great start. Okay. So far you see, like, if you are full of questions and queries, science is everywhere. Science is in the kitchen, right? When our mom is cooking, everything, starting from the heat, what is this heat? And you see the oven is releasing heat, sun also is releasing heat, right? So if you want to understand what exactly heat is, you have to study science about the solar system, because we human beings are living here for maybe 70 years, 80 years, 100 years on this planet. But the moment you think about this solar system, this galaxy and this infinite, this universe and other galaxies, oh my God, and how tiny I am on this planet Earth, in this continent, I am a human being sitting in this classroom. It's much bigger, bigger, bigger. There's a curiosity. Okay. Now these are like some natural things. Now coming back to our reality, like reality means like in our school campus here you are playing, friends, going outside in the snow, right? It is snowing. You might be having question that in the summer there is no snow, but right now it is snowing. In my country, we have summer, very hot summer. Even if I go out in the like middle of the day, oh my God, it's so hot. I will have to come back under the tree. It is cool, or inside the room. But in the winter, if we go out, nice warm. I like it. You might ask question, why there is change of weather? Anyone can tell me that why there is summer, winter, rainy season, snow season? Why? Anyone knows?
Because the Earth tilts on its axis, so in the winter it's farther away from the sun, and in the summer it's closer.
Great, wonderful. So you people are really smart. I did not know when I was of your age. I did not know. I had to be a little like bigger, in a little higher class to know that. Yes, perfectly right. That when the earth is going around the sun, it's like a little ball going around the sun, but this is tilted. The earth is slightly tilted and rotating, rotating, rotating. And when the earth is rotating, the side which is coming in front of the sun, that is the day. Why there is day and night? Do you know that? This earth is, suppose I am the earth, I am rotating, and suppose this board is the sun. I am rotating, 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 and my part, when this side is in front of the sun, that is day. But this side receives no light, that is night, right? Again, this side is going, going, going. This is day in front of the sun, coming night. So this is taking nearly 24 hours. And you are right, this is tilted, and so when this is going around the sun at different, there are 365 days, right? It takes. When it is further away, it is closer, and that is right. So you have curiosity why there is change of weather, and you know science. You have an explanation, and you are happy. I know that. You might say, is science always useful? See, it is not like science has to be always very practically useful, but you can point your thirst of knowledge. You are curious and you get a satisfying explanation. You say, I am happy. Science always does not need to give me a mobile phone or a TV. Science is useful in that way because I am happy to know. I am a human being. I was curious, right? And different people might tell different stories, but I have a scientific story. I have a scientific theory that everyone will agree. You got my point? When I spoke about this solar eclipse, what my grandmom used to tell me, that there is a demon which is eating the sun. Is that correct? No. What is the scientific theory? That the sun, moon and earth coming in a straight line, and that is how solar eclipse happening. So scientific theory is evidence based, right? People have thought about it, there are evidences, they have proved it, and so everyone will say yes. Everyone will say yes. It is not like I will tell a theory, you will tell a theory, or she will tell a theory. No, everyone will agree, oh, that is the reason. You got my point? Why there is day and night? If I tell you the scientific reason, everyone will say, oh yes, that is how we have day and night on the planet Earth. Right? Now, coming back here, what I was talking to, I remember in my place, in rainy season, we have lightning. Do you have lightning here?
Yeah.
Yeah? And thundering, thunderstorm? In my place, in the summertime, I used to experience that in the evening. Lot of lightning and thunder rolls. Why there is lightning? Later I got to know that is a spark of electricity. There is cloud, it is high voltage, right? And earth surface, there is voltage also. There is a voltage difference between the cloud and the earth. And when it is really high, there is electricity flowing in the sparks. And I'd say, how can the water fall from the sky? As a kid, I did not know. But later I got to know how the clouds are forming, right? And how the water is going from the ocean and the water bodies into the sky. They are forming clouds. And when the water droplets are coalescing together, they are forming rain and falling down. But again, I had a curiosity to know that how the water is falling from the sky. And there is a scientific explanation for that, right? And during lightning, I remember our house was surrounded by like lot of bamboo trees and lot of other trees. It was like a little forest. It's little costly. I said, oh my God, grandfather, I used to sit with him. Now, what is this lightning? And I used to see the lightning first, and then this sound, this thunder roll, right? And my grandfather explained to me that both light and sound has speed. They are traveling. But light travels at a very, 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 very huge speed. Sound does not travel at that high speed. It's only 340 meters per second. Compared to this, that is nothing. So you will hear the light first, right? And the sound will follow. So you know, and I told, what is sound? Like I used to ask, what is light? What is sound? To know that, I had to go to my middle school. And then only I got to understand that what is sound, that when something is vibrating, it is creating sound in the atmosphere. If there is no medium, if there is no air, I am talking, you can listen to me because there is air. Suppose you are in a vacuum, suppose. But we cannot stay in vacuum, that's dangerous, because if you are in a vacuum, our body will burst. Why our bodies don't burst? Because the inside pressure and this outside pressure, they balance, right? There is this atmosphere pushing on me. I don't feel that because inside also there is pressure. So pressures are equal, so you don't feel that. By the way, so in the vacuum, the sound cannot travel because if something is vibrating, it is producing a wave in this media, and that is creating a sensation. No atmosphere, no media, no sound. In the moon, there is no atmosphere. So when you are in the astronaut, suppose you two are in the moon with astronauts, jackets and everything, okay? And suppose you are calling your friend by making some noise, he cannot hear you because there is no atmosphere, right? The sound will not travel.
For Tom, we have about 1 more minute.
Oh, I
That was
didn't
fast.
realize. Okay, that's fast. But dear students, yeah, so my point is, if you are curious, you are observing and experiencing nature, everywhere there is science. And in today's world, you see in the room, we have electricity, bulb, refrigerator, all the electronic gadgets we are running by electricity, right? We know about electricity, magnetism, we all have played with magnets. Okay? So, in today's world, smartphone, internet, we can speak to anyone in the world having a smartphone. Hey, hello, I can speak to my mom who is like 12,000 kilometers away from me. I just dial, hello mom, how can I speak? I am speaking this little device, and how is this voice going through air? There is no air, ether, or this space, and my mom can listen to me immediately. I can see her on the video. How? To know that, to understand that, we have to study science. So we are living like we are living in the ocean of air, right? We are living in the ocean of science. Science is that knowledge, body of knowledge, which we get by methods based on observation. If you carefully observe, methodically approach, systematically approach, you will know the knowledge. That knowledge, not random knowledge. So science, basically you can say it is a body of knowledge. How do I obtain that? We have to go in a systematic way, right? By methods, by observation, proper observation. So when you acquire the knowledge, so that is science, okay? The science means this knowledge. And I didn't have a chance to speak to you what is physics. This physics, this word actually came from physica. That means knowledge of nature. But we think nature is everything. So if I have knowledge about anything and everything, can I call that physics? By definition, yes. Right? So alright, we don't have much time now, but I am really happy to speak to you. Is my talk useful to you, helpful to you? No?
Yeah.
Okay, so I really want all of you to be curious, right? If you are curious about anything and everything and ask the question, why? how you are basically doing science. We all are doing science always. In the ice, you know that it is slippery, black ice. Why? But in the carpet, it's not slippery. The moment you ask why, you basically get science. Alright, there is friction, high friction, but in the snow, we have the friction is reduced. And just last question, I asked as a kid that if I have a little top, if I rotate that on the ground, it will stop. But when the earth is going around the sun, that is not stopping, continuously rotating. And how is it possible? Still today we do not have the right answer. So maybe you can grow up, you can be a scientist, you can dig deeper, you can find out the answer. Why the earth and the planet don't stop, but the top on this carpet will stop because of friction. But okay, dear little friends, thank you so much. I'm so happy to come here and speak to you.
Fifth grade